Hey yo, greetings traders. Well, it's been a couple weeks since I have brought you a video update. I've been trying to keep you up to date via static posts, so hopefully you all have been following me at my website and keeping track of those updates. They are pretty important during this time. And I told you in the last post that there was something I was seeing on the charts that caused me to sell most of my positions especially in the altcoin space. But I also unloaded Bitcoin for a profit and Ethereum for a profit. Litecoin I unloaded for a little bit of a loss. We can take a look at a few of those charts at the end of this video if you'd like, but let's just jump right in and I'm going to show you what I was looking at that caused me to sell. It's really pretty simple, guys. I'm tracking the SPI or SPY, which is the S&P 500, which correlates with the U.S. stock markets. Of course, whatever happens in the U.S. stock markets trickles on over into the crypto space, specifically Bitcoin. So right now, the line in the sand is this upper channel here for me, all right? And you can see a few weeks ago, we broke out to the upside of this channel, which was somewhat unexpected in my view. I've been calling for a blow off top, as you guys know, for the last year, and that is well underway. I expected us to continue inside of this channel. All right, so bottom of this channel would be the red part down here, which interestingly enough correlates with the 200-day moving average, and the upper part of the channel right here we broke out of to the upside a few weeks ago. But this is where I expected us to continue, so a little surprised to see us break to the upside. Nevertheless, that kind of happens from time to time, especially in this type of market climate. Right now, the SPY is sitting on some support here at the 50-day moving average. So it could be that we bounce and head up again to the top side of this channel, retest that as resistance before we proceed in somewhat of a range-bound activity, ascending, but in this inside of this channel. All right, so that is kind of what it's looking like. But anytime we come back down, as we have in the last few weeks and days, to the underside of that line, it causes me pause, causes me to consider the fact that there may be further down for us. Now, I don't know how quickly this happens. Like I said, I do expect a little bit of bounce here on the 50-day moving average, which apparently we are kind of doing today. But it's possible that we break that 50-day moving average to the downside and then continue our pullback, which is still long-term and uptrend, but maybe we come all the way down and test that 200-day moving average or the bottom of this channel. That's quite a significant pullback, but it's still a bullish blow-off top in the long run. And we hit the bottom side of that, or we could hit this 100-day moving average, which is going to intersect with a significant level there at 433, and maybe we move up again inside of this channel now. All right, so still ascending, but this is a pullback over the next few days, few weeks, remains to be seen. Can't really tell, guys. Can't really tell in this case. So can we find clues from other charts that might tell us what could happen? Possibly. Let's jump over to the dollar. All right. So the dollar right now is hitting its head on resistance. This is the fourth time now we have hit this upper descending brown line of resistance. And I don't know that that's going to break. And the reason why I don't know is there are a few bearish indicators that tell me that the trend is to the downside. All right, first of all, that descending trend line. All right, that shows us our trend visibly. It's to the downside. But then we see this head and shoulders pattern, which I drew about a year ago. And the right shoulder is still intact, guys. With these lower highs, we have not pivoted above the previous high. All right, so the trend is still down, and this still is a valid right shoulder. Additionally, this here is a classic bear flag. One more thing, if that's not enough for you, look at the RSI here. We have bullish action here, but bearish action in terms of price. All right, so hidden bearish divergence. That's what that is. Hidden bearish divergence. The price does not correlate with what we're seeing on the RSI. It could be indicating that more weakness in the dollar is to come. All right, so when the dollar is down and the VIX is down, typically the SPY goes up. All right, so right now, since we are hitting our heads on that resistance, and the VIX is also down today, though it is in a small bullish triangle, that would mean that the SPY should be going up, and that correlates with the data we're seeing here. The SPY is on the 50-day moving average. So again, we could come up and test that resistance. Previous support now becomes resistance before we proceed further down. I anticipate that we could just form a bear flag here, guys, all right, and proceed further down in the next few weeks. So that being said, that is kind of why I sold my Bitcoin. All of this information, all of this data, all of these indicators flow over into our crypto space. So let's just jump quickly over to Bitcoin, and I'll show you what I'm seeing here. I've kind of eliminated a lot of the noise here. Previously, I had all of my drawings. Let me just show you what that looks like. And that's a lot of noise here. Too noisy for you to focus. I got some constructive criticism in that regard. So I've eliminated everything except what I considered most relevant to today's price action. All right, so we had this bullish triangle, which we broke out to the upside as expected. Everything here, by the way, guys, is going as expected with Bitcoin. Bitcoin is following technical patterns to a T. It has been a champ in this regards. So it's actually really easy to predict the price of Bitcoin lately. Now, I say that because 90% of the time that's true, and then it throws in a curveball, and that's where you lose some of your money. All right, but really, I'm considering just trading Bitcoin. Right now, I have this challenge that I'm doing, in which we trade crypto, but I have only been trading long, all right, to the upside. I have not been trading stocks. I have not been leveraging, and I have not been shorting. All right, so that puts me in a major disadvantage. All right, because if I'm predicting Bitcoin will go down, I don't short it. I just wait for it to hit my target down and go long. And I'm only trading crypto, which is very volatile. So it's definitely challenging, and I am considering changing up some of this strategy into the future so that we have more avenues of approach in our trading other than just crypto or other than just long and non-leveraged. So anyways, I say that for future awareness. Right now, though, let's get to Bitcoin. What is Bitcoin going to do? All right, so first of all, we did break to the upside of this bullish wedge, descending wedge, as expected. We hit our target, which was this area of confluence here. The 50-day looked to be intersecting with this significant level of resistance I have at 30,000. All right, and we are currently in an area of support. I say support because this previously was resistance. but then we moved above it with price. All right, and we remained range bound for about a month there above that. So now this orange area becomes our support, and it's going to take a lot to get us below that, especially when you see the 100-day moving average helping us out in terms of support at that bottom level of this range. All right, so if anything happens during the next couple weeks, I just expect us to remain range bound until we have a decision from the Fed on what the rate hike is going to be, if there is going to be a rate hike. Now, right now, let me just move a tab up here into the screen so you all can see this. And I don't know that this includes today's PPI data, which came in at 0.1% above what was expected, meaning inflation is still upticking. But nevertheless, this was what we had. The market, 11.5% of the market expects a 25 basis point rate hike. All right, this is indicated here on this bar. All right, and then over here, 88.5% of the market expects the pause to continue. All right, I'll get rid of my drawings here. And so that's currently, at least that was the last that I got on this. It could be this over here, this 11.5% of the market that expects another 25 basis point rate hike in September could increase after today's PPI data. I'm not sure. Remains to be seen. But anyways, let me move this back out of the way here. This, if the Fed does continue to pause, then what I expect on the chart here, on our dollar chart, is for us to come back down. All right. If the Fed continues to pause and we have this inflationary data, the dollar only continues to grow weaker, right? All right. So if the pause does discontinue and the Fed decides to increase rates, well, we're going to break above this. We are typically that's what will happen. And it could invalidate this head and shoulders pattern if that was the case. Again, the probability remains very low that this will happen at this point. The charts are telling me that the Fed is going to continue the pause and the dollar is going to continue to get weaker. The VIX is also telling me that. All right. And of course, the SPY S&P 500 with its blow off top continuing is also telling me that. All right. That being said, we can expect until the date of the decision to see Bitcoin kind of remain range bound in this orange area. Right now, we have formed a little bit of a bull flag. All right. So it looks like bulls are in the mood to retest this 30,000, forming a double top, and then we come back down to the 100-day moving average or the bottom of that level of support at 28,500. And by this time, our 200-day moving average will be coming up to help us with more support, which incidentally coincides with this major red channel that I have as support. Lots of support underneath us, guys. This 28,500 is support, which would be intersecting both of those at the time. And look at the 100-day moving average coming over to help us as well. Tons of support, which indicates that is where you should be buying next time we pop back down. Right now, you could buy and, hope that this bull flag proves true and we go to 30,000. I personally am just going to sit on the sidelines and wait for the market to make up their minds. And of course, the market's not really going to make up their minds until they see the Fed make up their minds with a final decision. But this is what it's looking like right now for good old Bitcoin. Now, I promised you that I would, the video is pretty much done for my overall synopsis of the markets. I promised you that I would show you what I'm looking at on some of my trade outs here. One of those was Litecoin. So Litecoin, I was in this at around $89, and I did not sell up here, which hindsight is 2020. Should have taken some profits, but I did not. I expected us to rest on this line of support. So I was a little bit greedy because I was hoping if we go back down there, I buy more and then we pop back up. Instead, we broke below this line of support and continued down below my buy area and continued down. So on this particular trade, I lost a bit. But what I'm seeing here and why I traded out was because the SPY had come back below this line. This is my line in the sand, truly, guys. This is what dictates my trades in crypto space as well, believe it or not, the SPY. And that trickled over into Bitcoin price action, all right, showing that we are coming back down into this orange area here and look to be remaining range bound. And when there's indecisiveness on Bitcoin, altcoins generally take a hit. Anything that is neutral from Bitcoin would cause altcoins to take a hit. Of course, when Bitcoin goes down, altcoins take a greater hit. When Bitcoin goes up, altcoins are somewhat neutral unless Bitcoin goes up massively at this point, because we are in a bear market. Then some of the altcoins will trickle on behind, and then that's largely in part due to the SEC lawsuit. But again, back to Litecoin. It dropped below this triangle here, and I knew we were going to come back up, hit our heads on that, and retest. I have a major ascending trend line here that is rising, but when I sold, it was right around 76, 75, 50, 76, and ascending. So that is where I'm looking to re-enter into Litecoin. Really, I sold not because I expect us to, pull back massively. No, it's just a little bit of a drawback, but I just wanted a better price in many of my positions. XRP here, I have been saying that there's two levels I was interested in. The first one was 66, which you could start there. And then below that, we have a 58-cent level. I still can see us coming down to 58 cents because this represents a bear flag. All right, so we're just getting a little momentum to get below that 50-day moving average. That is a great price. I didn't buy here at 66 cents because I unloaded most of my positions, as you know. So I saw a little bit of a pullback coming. I still see that coming. And most of the coins that I have, let's see here, is there another coin? Most of the coins that I have done analysis on are showing me that there is that possibility, if not probability, for more of a pullback. Here's another one that I was in, and you can see that Atom has just simply been sliding down the top side of that wedge. You can see a very clear M pattern here, double top, and then we just slid back down. We're almost to the bottom now, folks, but I unloaded that one because I had my stop outs here, and I expect to get a better price. I'm hoping down here is where I can dive back into this one at $8.13. Anywho, guys, that is what I'm seeing. Just a slight pullback here over the next week or so. Bottom line is I just wanted a better price on some of these items here, on some of these altcoins. So hopefully you can see what I'm looking at. You understand what I've said here amidst all of my scribbles and ramblings, and hopefully it helps you project a little bit better the overall price of Bitcoin during the next several weeks. Again, in short, we might bump up here again on both Bitcoin and the SPY, but we are going to hit our heads on some resistance as the dollar pulls back a bit, and it's possible that the Fed surprises us too. Always never rule that out. I'm expecting a pause, so is the market, but with this inflation uptick, if there's a surprise, there's going to be definitely a much greater pullback. All right, until the next video, peace, y'all.